Welcome back. In this lesson, I want to start talking to you about report design. Reports and forms are actually very similar. They have a very similar set of controls. The major difference, of course, is that forms are primarily meant to be displayed on the screen, while reports are designed to be printed. Here you can see an example of a report from the Job Search Plus database. This is the lead detail report that you saw before, and it shows all the information gathered on a specific lead. You have the job title and the other header information, you have the contacts and the company information, and you have the activities. It pulls together information from a number of different tables. And as I said in the previous video on forms, generally you probably will not be using a table itself to supply the data for a form or report. You'll probably be going through a query, and in this lesson we'll see another reason why. Let's go ahead and look at the design view on this. Up here we see the report design tools. Again, just like the form designer, you have a few special tabs. They're slightly different here because you can do different things on reports than you can do on forms. But again, you have the controls collection that you can use. You have charting capabilities. You have page numbers and some specific report features. And then under the Arrange tab, again, you're able to quickly arrange and rearrange controls. You have the Format tab where you can format the font and other features, the text size and so on as you need it. And you also have a Page Setup tab, because with reports where they're designed to be printed, you're probably going to want to change the margins and the size of the paper as needed. And of course you can do landscape reports, and you can have multiple columns, so you can do all sorts of great things with reports. Now, coming down here to the report designer itself, you can see that it has a number of sections. You have the page header. On this particular report, we have the report title and then a label that prints out the date that the report was printed. You have the lead ID header. This report is grouped on the lead ID from the leads table. So it's designed so that each page or each group of pages is going to print out a specific lead. So it presents the data one lead at a time. And you'll see how that works in a minute. And in this section, again, we have information that is specific to each lead, such as the title and the company title or the company name, the location, and other fields that have kind of a one-to-one relationship with the lead itself. Then down here in the detail section, we have more detail information on the lead, such as the details of the company and contacts, the description. Then here we have a sub-report which shows the activities for that lead. As you might remember, that's essentially a one-to-many relationship where you have one lead and many activities that you can store under that lead. So that's why we use a sub-report here, and when I go back into the report view, you'll see how that works again. And then we have the page footer, which shows the pages, page 1 of 2 or whatever is available on that report. One last thing I want to show you is the actual data behind this report. As I said before, sometimes you want to use a query instead of directing the report or the form at the actual table. And when I click on the report section right here, you can see where you have the record source for this report. And if I click on the build button, it brings up the query builder, and you can see that it's actually pulling from 3 different tables: leads, companies, and contacts. It's pulling companies twice because, again, you might have both a company and an agency on the lead, so we have to access it for both of those entities if necessary. We have the query here, and it's supplying all the needed information, and it's actually stored within the report object. It's not a separate query. As you'll see later, you can save queries. It's stored as part of the report, And again, you can see the information as it stands. And if I page up through these, again, you'll see that it's showing one lead at a time. And you can see how that sub-report works, showing the associated activities for each lead. That's a general overview of the report designer and Access. In the next lesson, we'll go into more detail about how to actually create a report and add some controls to it. We'll be using the Collier Public Library database, and we can create one of the reports that might be useful in that type of application.